South China Sea alert. World War III fears. Beijing launches terrifying military drills. China has recently launched a new training test to measure the readiness of their air force. Video footage of Beijing's latest training exercise has been released and was published on the state-owned New China TV YouTube channel. The Chinese Air Force carried out the training exercise to ensure their pilots remain vigilant in the event they need to be deployed. The training included low-altitude sea defense penetration, live ammunition discharge and airborne assaults. The exercise was specifically called to help evaluate their soldiers' maritime combat and assault operation capabilities. The video of the exercise showcased multiple military helicopters flying in formation and eliminating targets. These targets were fired at with live ammunition, with some targets being on land and others at sea. Soldiers were also recorded jumping out of helicopters and using a rope to descend to the ground. This comes as tensions remain high in the South China Sea between the communist state and the U.S. The increase in patrols in the region has sparked fears that an accidental collision could result in subsequent skirmishes. However, the main concern is China's military island bases, which have runways, hangars, control towers and helipads. In August last year, Chinese forces launched 4 missiles into the disputed waters of the South China Sea. After this incident, the Pentagon issued a statement that said, "China's actions stand in contrast to its pledge to not militarize the South China Sea and are in contrast to the United States' vision of a free and open Indo-Pacific region. A vision in which all nations, large and small, are secure in their sovereignty, free from coercion, and able to pursue economic growth consistent with accepted international rules and norms." In recent weeks, China has also been expanding its naval bases in the South China Sea region. These moves remain closely watched by the U.S. in case of preparation for conflict. China's Navy has expanded Yulin Naval Base on the island province of Hainan. The naval base is currently a conventional submarine facility. Military news database globalsecurity.org said that intelligence had found 4 new trestles for submarines, each 229 meters long, that can accommodate 16 submarines. China has shared footage of troops carrying out a simulated invasion of Taiwan, after President Xi Jinping ordered his military to be prepared for war, at all times. Soldiers used live weapons in the mock takeover of an unnamed island in China's Fujian province, 214 miles away from Taiwan. Footage released by state media outlet CCTV showed Chinese helicopters fire missiles at the landmass, while People's Liberation Army (PLA) troops fired machine guns at water targets. Footage of the Chinese military drill, said to have taken place recently, was released this week after Mr. Xi told his force to be on high alert at all times. Helicopters were instructed to fly 66 feet above sea level to launch precise strikes against ground targets. Ground targets set up on Minnan, mainland China's closest point to Taiwan, were obliterated by Chinese missiles, as troops practiced drooping from the aircrafts onto the land below. CCTV did not state whether the drills were related to Taiwan. China carried out a simulated invasion on Taiwan during the country's National Day holiday last year. A CCTV report at the time explained how Chinese forces moved in from multiple locations onto an island neighboring the Taiwan Straits. It added, "The exercise, with the effective integration of multiple new combat forces, increased the actual combat capability of the troops in joint landing and 3-dimensional assault." Zhu Fenglian, spokesperson at the Taiwan Affairs Office in Beijing, also issued a chilling warning during the drills and said, "Taiwan independence is a dead end, while confrontation will lead to nowhere." It comes after Mr. Xi commanded PLA forces to train in real combat conditions at the start of the year. In a statement published to the Chinese Military Commission website, the president issued an order to troops to be ready for a real war scenario. The order said, "Training under real combat conditions must be deepened and all military training should be war-centered and conducive to improving combat effectiveness, and the research on warfare and combat-related issues should be enhanced." It also asked forces to strengthen confrontational training under real war scenario, hone the troops in the front line of military struggle, and promote the in-depth combination and integration of military training and operations, ensuring combat readiness all the time and operational capability at any time. Chinese forces are said to have jumped into action after getting the order from Mr. Xi. Mr. Xi also called on troops to put all their minds and energy on preparing for war, in a visit to a military base in October. After inspecting the People's Liberation Army Marine Corps in Chaozhou City, Xinhua, Mr. Xi told soldiers to maintain a state of high alert, and called on them to be absolutely loyal, absolutely pure, and absolutely reliable. Later in November, the president urged his troops not to fear death and to get ready to win wars in an address to military commanders. Taiwanese President Tsai Ing-wen met with Kelly Craft, the U.S. ambassador to the United Nations, virtually this week. Ms. Craft, who was scheduled to visit Taipei in person before the trip was cancelled, told Ms. Tsai, "The United States will always stand with Taiwan." Beijing was outraged by the meeting, posting on China's mission to the UN Twitter account, "The United States should understand that the attempt to challenge the One China principle receives no support and is doomed to fail." Under President Donald Trump, the U.S. has ramped up diplomatic relations with Taiwan, and sold $5.861 billion worth of weapons systems to the country in 2020.
Don't forget to like our video and subscribe for our channel.